Hello, TikTok, YouTube, if you're watching this at a later time, and the live replay. I'm Dr. Kia Ebeling, and tonight we're going to start talking about intuitive signs. And those of you, I'm going to give a moment for people to start coming into the live before I actually start getting into the meat of the whole topic tonight. Tonight's topic was actually asked by Mariah. Mariah wanted to learn about some signs and symbols and how to use or tap more into the intuition. So Mariah, now that you've joined into the live, this is for you. I've done a video before, or a live before, on intuitive signs. You could actually find that in my link tree in my bio. But tonight's going to be a little bit different. We'll go over the same stuff, but we'll go over things in more detail of how to tap into your intuition and what are some signs and symbols that we overlook every day that's going on. So I'm going to give a few more moments for people to join in. Those that are wanting to learn more about tapping into their spiritual gifts. I can't even talk tonight, including speaking, telepathy, using your mind rather than your voice. This is something that I do quite often. So those just joining in, we're going to start talking about your intuitive gifts and different ways we can use our intuitive gifts. So thank you guys for coming in. If for some reason you can't stay for the full hour of this live, I am going to upload it onto YouTube tomorrow, and then I'll put a link in my bio that you can just come back later and tap back into that. There is a question in the comments here. It says, do I support LGBTQ? Absolutely. I have them in my family and I love them to death. And I have a lot of friends in the community, but definitely have family members and I love all of them. I do support that. I'm very open-minded, so. Okay, first of all, wow, I have a lot of people in. I'm so glad you're joining me. If you've never seen me on TikTok before, welcome in. I just want to express my gratitude for you being here. And if for some reason you can't stay, like I was saying earlier, I am going to upload this to YouTube so it can be accessible. Mariah says, I've been reading The Mind Control by John Silva. You mean this one? I love how we think alike, Mariah. You're amazing. So, first of all, I want to start talking about, well, what are the intuitive signs? There are signs that are surrounding us every day in life, and I want to go over the spiritual gifts first and how we will utilize those signs in our intuition. And our intuition is basically the spiritual ability, or what people will call the psychic abilities. I prefer the word spiritual over psychic, though. Do I consider myself an intuitive? Absolutely. I see things all the time that a lot of times I'm unaware of, that I'm giving someone else a message. It just happens to flow naturally. And they're like, oh my gosh, you have no idea. I needed to hear that. I was just a mouthpiece at that moment. So for those of you joining in, we're going to start talking here about the clairs. Maybe you've heard about the clairs before. Clair is actually from the French word clear. So we're going to talk about clairs. There's more than 5. People will say, oh, the 5 clairs. Oh, there's more than that. So first of all, we'll talk about, and I'll tell you an easy way to remember these. So clairsentient. When I think of sentient, I think of sentiments, giving appreciation and feeling appreciative of stuff. So that's clairsentient to me, is clear feeling. We have clairvoyance. And I can't think of a better way to describe this other than when you voyeur something, you're watching something. And so this is clear seeing. What are you seeing? Sometimes it'll be like in your imagination, you'll just see visions of things. This happens to me quite often. I'll see something before it happens. And I will take advantage of that. The more you practice, the better you'll get at it. So it's like learning a new instrument or a new language. It does take practice, but everybody has the ability to do this and develop and strengthen their intuition. Let's see, Dottie says, glad to catch you briefly on live. Gonna send a bunch of likes. Love your content. Thank you, Dottie. I appreciate that. I really appreciate you for being here. If you can't stay for the whole thing, no worries. I'm gonna upload it to YouTube, so you can find it on YouTube. And I'll probably also put a link in my link tree on my bio to have an access to this video, so you don't have to search around in YouTube. It'll just take you directly there. So on with the clairs. Clairaudience, obviously. It's audio, you can hear things, clear hearing. Claircognizance, so when you think of your cognition, it's your mind, your brain, your knowing, recalling things. A lot of times I'll get information, it'll just be dropped into my awareness, like an idea or something just pops in, or what we would call a download. A lot of information all at once, but the mind, within a few seconds, is able to interpret that. It's weird how that happens, but a lot of times I'll get block thoughts and I'll have to sit and think about it. It's my middle name. Okay. Clairgustance. This is not something that I have learned. Well, actually, I didn't know about it until right now. I looked it up before this session. So basically, it's clairgustance is tasting. When you're talking to somebody and you just have this taste in your mouth and you don't know what it is. I like to think of it as, well, the clairgustance, I hear the word gut in my mind. So gut is eating, tasting. So this is how I relay that, or I remember that. Clairalience or clarifaction. Gosh, I couldn't even say the word. I don't know a really easy way to remember this, but it's the smelling. So when you're having those intuitive thoughts and you just start smelling something, maybe your grandmother's perfume or something, you have a memory associated with that, or maybe you'll just smell something that doesn't really exist in that moment. You ask a neighbor, do you guys smell that perfume or those roses? Do you smell those flowers? You know, different things will come in. You'll start smelling them, and no one else but you are experiencing them. So yeah, smelling. There's clairempathy. Obviously, it's the emotions, and I do a lot of energy work with emotions as well. So to me, emotions is just energy in motion, but empathy for sure. When you can feel other people's emotions, you take them on as yours. And you have to remember, when you're going to be practicing this type of intuitive work, that you will need to protect yourself before you start helping other people. Learn how to protect yourself first. And this is an easy thing that I do, is before I leave my house, I'll either wear a black obsidian or a protection crystal. We'll talk about those two later on in this hour here. But getting back on with the clairs, there's clairtangency. So when you hold something in your hand and it's tangible, it's because you could touch it. So when you have that touch, this is the gift of touch. So thank you for all the likes, everyone, and the roses. So those are the clairs and different ways to remember them. Now, some other things. What I first started experiencing, or how you can actually make these gifts stronger, is to practice meditation. Meditation is basically you spending time with you, and it doesn't have to be you could be driving down the road for 15 minutes or so, and you realize at that moment you leave, your mind just goes into the hypnagogic state, and before you know it, you're at the location that you meant to go to, and you have no idea how you got there. You're like, oh my gosh, I'm already here. How'd that happen? This is the hypnagogic state. It's also a meditative state. I do a lot of meditation while I'm driving, and I'm fully aware and fully awake. Reading some comments here. Mariah says, I've experienced most besides the taste. Good. Fortnite Thea, I don't know if I'm saying that right. Ringing in the left ear. Yes, that's actually a sign also of the awakening. And the sides of the body also matter. We'll go over that as well. Good evening. Thanks for coming in. Zone out is what happens to me. Yes, a lot of people will zone out. Taking a walk in nature, when you also put your feet on the ground without shoes, getting rid of the rubber sole. You want your soul to connect with the ground. This is very, not only is it a healing, it's very healing and it's grounding, but you can also meditate just walking in nature, taking time to listen to the sounds, touching the trees, touching the plants. And they have a language themselves. So those of you who, hello Bill, those of you who have a lot of plants in your house, like Mariah, have you ever taken time to just sit with them and listen? They probably have a few stories to tell. And plants are also a good way of also tapping into your intuition. There is a woman on TikTok, I don't remember what she's a tree whisperer or the tree talker, I don't remember what but she'll touch a tree and tell the whole story, and it just blows my mind, all the information that comes out of her. And I'm addicted to her channel. I want to hear those messages of the trees too. Mariah says, yes, grounding is so important. You wonder why my kids hate shoes. I know, right? If I didn't live in Colorado and I woke up to quite a bit of snow this morning, I'd go barefoot if I could, but I try to go barefoot as often as possible. So meditation, grounding, like I said, there's many different ways to meditate. You don't have to just sit and do nothing. You can listen to music. Where do your thoughts take you when you're listening to music? Pay attention to your thoughts. When you're driving down the road and you're listening to the radio, pay attention to the songs that come up in your, and listen to the words. This could also be a message to you. Or maybe you'll be thinking of a song and you turn on the radio and poof, the song is playing. Well, it's because you were hearing it before it was on. Or maybe just your thoughts produce that energy to bring the song forward. Mariah says, yes, so many plants, Jumanji in my house. I've seen your channel and I've seen your plants. And I love all of them. Good evening, Janine, or Janie, I'm so sorry. The positivity queen. I love positivity too. So other ways, some ways I experience intuitive signs are, say for instance, you are driving down the road and you hit every single red light. This is a very good sign for you to slow the heck down. I used to get upset when that happens. But when you learn that it's an intuitive sign, it's your guides helping to slow you down to get you to the place that you need to be at the right time, to be with the right people and hear the right messages. So keep that in mind when you hit every red light from now on, or maybe people cutting you off and then stopping in front of you. That's also a sign. Slow down. It's okay. Slow down. Give yourself plenty of time to get to work or get to the store or wherever you're going. Give yourself plenty of time and look for the signs, because there's more ways than just red lights. There's other, maybe you're driving down the road and you see all the purple cars for some reason, and purple just stands out to you that day. Purple signs, everything is purple. A lot of people wearing purple that day. Well, this is associated with the crown chakra, the top. This is indicating wisdom. So pay attention to your thoughts. And this is your body's way of calling that to heal. Maybe you're having some brain fog or depression going on. This is your body's way of calling in the frequency of the purple or the violet to heal the brain fog or the lack of wisdom, or maybe you're having some difficulty learning things. This is to help heal that within you. Colors have a very specific meaning, and we'll go over that too. Let's see. You're the third to say, Janine, you know, if you looked at my name, people always say my name wrong, and it's actually a really great conversation piece. People that actually helped me open up about who I was, having to explain what my name is and how to pronounce it. I was very shy growing up, and so this made me have to speak and get over my shyness really quick. So I know it's not fun having people mispronounce your name, but I've been so used to it. Obviously, you've had several people call you that as well. Let's see. It's funny because every light I hit this morning changed green for me. That's great. Complete opposite. And that's beautiful when that happens, doesn't it? It feels so good. And here's something else. This is what helped fix road rage for me and my family, is that maybe you've seen the Imodium commercials where it's a police chase and the police are just chasing this white van all over the interstate and then drives into the neighborhood, and the white van stops in front of a house and the guy goes out and runs in the house, and my phone froze up. All of a sudden, the Imodium commercial comes up. You gotta go. So when people start to pass me and cut me off and stuff, I think, oh my gosh, they really have to go. And with that mindset, no one can really faze me in traffic anymore. Maria says she's always been called Maria. Yeah. So Ninja Kitty says, I honestly thought I was having auditory hallucinations. My name was said and I was in an empty hall. Pay attention to your thoughts at that time when you hear that. That's happened to me too. Let me see. I'm just reading over some comments here. Okay. Most of the time it's different types of music. So, speaking of music, I am one to always listen to ambient music, music without words, because it allows my mind to bring in those thoughts, those intuitive thoughts, things that I need to know for the day, you know. And even when I do listen to words in music, randomly it'll just be the music that I need to hear a message from. So paying attention to the words. If someone sends you a song, a link or something, listen to it. What is it telling you? But my preference, I always enjoy ambient music. I prefer making up my own words in my head. All right, on with some other signs that are really amazing to see and figure out. We'll start with maybe you experience a lot of nature, like deer. Deer, for instance, are signifying inner peace and unconditional love, innocence, and gentleness. Obviously, the birds are messengers, so pay attention to the color. If you could figure out what bird you're hearing and find it, look at the color. Colors have a very specific meaning. We'll go over colors too. The types of birds too are a specific message. For instance, an owl. An owl indicates wisdom, you know, the wise owl we've heard. Bears. Well, think about, we always think of bears hibernating for the winter. So this is a symbolism of hibernation, or maybe even protection, because they're very protective of their young, their cubs, you know. Spiders. Oh, this is something that I've had a hard time with, but until I did my own hypnosis on myself, and I used to have arachnophobia really bad, but I don't anymore. I actually enjoy watching the spiders weave their webs, looking into their eyes. I know I used to get so creeped out, but I won't grab a flip-flop to smack it. Nope. I'll actually go grab a cup and take it outside if it's in my house or something. I still freak out a little bit, but not like I used to. But spiders are very good at weaving the webs, and so this symbolizes connection and networking. So if you see spiders, this is a call to maybe network a little bit more, maybe to connect with more people, or maybe that's what you're doing and it's just your guide's way of recognizing that, validating that. Mariah says, I see owls everywhere, ended up collecting them. That's awesome. I love owls too. I really do. Ninja Kitty says, I freak out on spiders and webs. I don't like walking through webs either. That does freak me out a little bit too. But I've kind of gotten over that. I just wipe it off and think of the message behind it. It's getting my attention for sure. Butterflies. Butterflies are a symbolization of transformation, you know, because when they're caterpillar, they go in the cocoon and they come out a butterfly. It represents transformation. Same with moths, but there's a slight difference between the two. I don't have that one written down, but Google can be your best friend. If you see something that's out of the ordinary that you usually don't see, I recommend looking up the spiritual sign for whatever it is that you're experiencing, and it'll take you to the spiritual meaning of it, what you're really needing to know. Starlit skies, I found small bear in the road. Hopefully they were alive. It's not ever fun to see a large animal on the side of the road that didn't make it across, but unfortunately it happens because humans, you know. All right, so dragonflies also represent transformation and rebirth. Definitely rebirth. Actually, that's butterflies. Self-realization is the dragonflies. Self-realization. Okay, so the bear was, it was a toy. Whew. But yes, that's definitely a symbol and a sign as well. I'll tell you a story here shortly, but I'm gonna go over a couple more different things, like ladybugs. When we think of ladybugs, we think of lady luck. So these are, ladybugs represent fortune and luck and innocence. Because they're so cute, aren't they? And we already went over the owl. So I want to describe an experience that I had. I like to actually play games with my spirit guides. And one of the games is kind of like I see, you know, when you're in your road trip with your family, you know, I spy this, and you know, well, I do this with my spirit guides. It's actually pretty fun. I highly recommend it because they get really creative, and sometimes it'll make you laugh like it did for me. So on a sunny day, I ask my guides, okay, not a cloud in the sky, you're gonna show me a rainbow today. And so I was open-minded, and I was driving around town, and at the time I was driving city transit, and I was doing my rounds, and all of a sudden, and this was during the mask season, but all of a sudden, it was probably within 30 minutes of me telling my guides, hey, I want you to show me a rainbow today. In walks a passenger with a rainbow mask on, and I laughed. I'm like, how funny that actually came up. Because I was looking for rainbow somewhere else. So don't cap how it's gonna appear to you. Be open-minded. And now something else that I like to tease, or my guides like to tease me with, one of the first times I played that game is, we don't often see purple Jeeps, okay? This is what I asked them to show me. I want you to show me a purple Jeep. Okay, now I see them all the time, but at the time I hadn't seen any. So again, I was driving transit, so I'm in traffic all the time, and I was driving by one of my stops and looked over to the gas station, and in pulls this purple Jeep to fill up with gas, and I'm just like, I had a couple passengers on board, and I just let out this squeal, and my passengers were like, you know, they kind of scared them a little bit. I didn't tell them what was going on. They wouldn't understand, but there it was, filling up with gas. And now every time, because that was the first time I started playing that game with my guides, That was the first thing that showed me. So every time I see one, I think of my guys, and I share appreciation for the games that they play with me, and how fun it is. It can be a fun experience. Showing, asking for signs, you know. Asking for specific signs is actually a really cool thing. Like, show me a rainbow on a sunny day. Try to do that, silly guides. Mariah says, I love doing that. Good. I'm glad you're doing it too, because it is so fun, and I have my kids doing it as well. All right, let's now talk about numbers. Angel numbers. Okay, you may see repeating numbers on clocks, license plates, addresses, street signs. They each represent a specific meaning, and I'm going to go over those. So if you have a pen and paper handy, cool. If not, you can watch this again and take notes, or you could just Google the angel number cheat sheet. So we're going to start with the number 1. 1 is the beginning of something, right? Okay, so this is what that means. It's the beginning. I'm going to cheat here too, because I want to give a better definition. Mariah says numbers are big for me. They're big for me too. That's why I memorized them. So just off the top of my head, 1 is beginning of something. So something is about to begin. It's also make sure that you're focusing on what you want and not what you don't want. That's what the 1s mean. Number 2, duality, and also no worries. Stop worrying. Everything is working out just as it's supposed to. Trust that you're on the right path for number 2s. 1111 for me a lot. Yeah. Yep. That's how the awakening starts. You start noticing those numbers. At least it did. That's what started for me. So the number 3, this is the number of the ascended masters, you know. In your churches and stuff, you have the Trinity. Father, oh my gosh, I can't. Yeah, I haven't been to church in a while. Father, Son, Spirit. Okay, there you go. But the Trinity, it means the ascended masters are right by you. They're whatever you're going through in that moment, you're being assisted. They're right there for you. So smile when you have those 3s coming in. Recipes. Someone's trying to help me with the Son, the Father, and the Holy Spirit. Yes, thank you. I'm all red. I'm getting a little embarrassed because I didn't know that, and I grew up in the church all my life. So, all right. So the 4s. This is a really good number for angels. The angels are around you. They're assisting you in whatever you're going through. You're being guided through whatever you're focusing on. So make sure that you're focusing on something amazing all the time, and they'll help you accomplish that, attract that to you. Let's see. 5. Ooh, this is a really good number. 5 means a big change is coming in. It's usually a really good change. Huge changes are up ahead. Trust that this transition in your for your highest good. Prepare for massive shifts. Things are getting exciting. Yeah, every time I see the 5s, I get excited for sure. Moving on up to the number 6. Now, a lot of times people, ooh, the number 666. It's actually a good thing when you do see it. It's that your thoughts need some refocusing. All right. This is a reminder that you are a spiritual being having a human experience, and to reconnect with your spirituality. All right, 7s. And those of you who gamble, lucky 7s, right? This is what it actually means. The 7s mean luck. Luck is on your side, babe. That's what it says. You're on the ultimate spiritual path. Keep doing what you're doing. This is a really fun number to see. Kind of reassuring. But my ultimate favorite number of all times is the number 8. And you might agree, because this is the number of money, honey. When you see the 8s, this is financial abundance coming to you. It's on its way to you, and you're aligned with the money that you desire. Anytime I see repeating 8s, I usually get people booking appointments with me. So that's what I get excited, because I'm like, who's going to call me next? You know, 9s. 9s are, you're being nudged to finish something. Basically, you're coming to the end of the numbers. So complete what it is that you're doing. It's coming to an end. It'll unlock the next step for you. So what's after that? The zeros. Zeros symbolize the new beginning. I mean, think about it. When you're born, you're going through this big zero, right? That's how I remember the zeros. New beginnings, fresh start, being one with the universe, a reminder that you are the creator of your own destiny. So clear up your thoughts, only thinking of things that you want in your life rather than not want. So thinking things of, instead of thinking in terms of lack, think in terms of abundance, and watch things start coming at you. It's just amazing how it happens, the law of attraction. Let's see. Hey, Lori, I'm glad you popped in. So good to see you. Mariah says, me and my son's birthday is on the 6th, and we're 6 months apart. A lot of the 6s in my house. Good. Well, it means to refocus, right? Refocus. Good number. It's a spiritual number, reconnecting with your spirituality. So happy 6th birthdays, 6 months apart. All right, for the numbers, that wraps that up. So when you see number patterns also, like if you see the numbers 3, 4, 5 going up, this means things are going up in your life. Now descending numbers, opposite. Things are, or it could be a good thing too. Things are about to wind down. Things are winding down. So think of it that way. It's a more positive way. Okay, what else do we have? Colors. When you see an abundance of a specific color, it does have a specific meaning and vibration to it. So I always think about the colors of the different energy centers, the chakras. If you're not familiar with the chakras, you can certainly look it up online, the chakras, but I'm going to go through them right now just to give you an idea. And we'll do the whole rainbow, starting with red. The color red is a very grounding color. So you see a lot of red cars or red signs or people wearing red clothes. Maybe you're in Target or something. You see all the employees there. This is just to help ground your energy. We see that a lot when we are feeling a bit fearful. Maybe we're feeling insecure. Maybe we're feeling ungrounded or disconnected from life. You'll see a lot of reds, or it's a good idea to wear reds when you're going through that as well. So reds are definitely a grounding color. Moving up to the sacral chakra, the orange. Orange is for your creative center. This is a sacral chakra. Orange represents passion, and it also has to do with libido. So if you're having a low libido or high libido, when you're seeing these oranges, this is just helping you balance out that energy in your body. So pay attention to those colors. And you can create these colors yourself. Just like I said, you can wear these colors to help boost that libido. Also, it has to do with relationships too. If you're having difficulty in relationships, wear some orange, balance that out. And next would be yellow. Yellow is, it's also for the solar plexus. Yellow represents happiness and confidence and joy. So when you're seeing abundance of yellow, this is your body's way of getting your attention to work on your self-esteem, work on your confidence, spend time being happy, practice happiness. We create it ourselves, so do more things that make you happy. All right, moving up to green. Green is the heart space. Green represents love. So when you're seeing this out and about, green represents maybe you're having some issues with jealousy, or maybe you're having difficulty being kind to others. Maybe you're having a lack of compassion or kindness in your heart. This is your body's way of trying to balance that out by putting green into your view of sight, helping balance that out. So if you're feeling any of those, I recommend wearing green yourself. I wear a lot of green, and it does help me to be more compassionate towards others. Let's see, blue. Blue has to do with communication and our throat space. So maybe maybe lately you've been feeling misunderstood, or you feel like you can't speak your truth. This is when you'll start seeing more blues. This is to help balance that out. Maybe you feel like what you have to say isn't important, or nobody would care about what you're trying to say. By wearing the color blue will help balance that out too. You'll feel more confident speaking your truth, for sure. Indigo. It's the color between the blue and purple. You know, it's a blend of both. This is represents the third eye, your spiritual awareness, your imagination, your intuition. When you're seeing a lot of this color, this is just balancing this area out. Maybe you're seeing a lot of paranormal, or you're having those experiences in your life, and maybe it's comforting to you, maybe it's scary to you. But if you want to balance that out, maybe calm it down a bit, wear the color indigo. And then violet or purple. This is the crown. This is your wisdom. Lori says, knowing this makes me realize you need to add more color into my wardrobe. Yeah, absolutely. Wear the rainbow. Wear the rainbow, or eat the rainbow. Foods have that vibration too. Healthy foods. And I say this, I'm not talking about Skittles. I'm talking about your fruits and vegetables. Eat your rainbow. That'll help bring balance into your body as well, to your energy centers. Absolutely beautiful. Thanks, Mariah, for the rainbow hearts in the chat there. So again, purple, wisdom. You see a lot of purple out there. It's basically your body's way of trying to balance out brain fog or depression. You might be having some learning difficulty. This is just trying to balance that out for you. And being a sound therapist, the colors mean a lot to me as well, because sound is vibration. Vibration is energy. So when I have people come into my sound baths, we go over the chakras and we balance those out before we do anything else. But you definitely would feel a difference by eating the rainbow or wearing the rainbow. You know, maybe, well, there's 7 chakras and there's 7 days of the week, so plan accordingly. You know, Mondays can, whether your week starts on Monday or Sunday, you know, Mondays can be either purple or red, you can start from the top or bottom, doesn't matter. But wearing this will help bring balance into your life. And knowing what the colors mean, when you start seeing them in traffic or in your daily experiences, you'll know the meaning behind it. And Maria says, that's what I need. I need a sound bath. Yes, come to Colorado. I'll be happy to. I'll do it for free. Come on, just come out here. All right, so black. Black is also another, it means protection, shadow. It also can mean warding off negativity, kind of like a cloak, you know. I'd love you too. When you coming? I don't have room in my house, but I will certainly. I got a lounger right here. You can hang out. Love, light, peace for you says, when I was a child, I was always attracted with the color green, but later as an adult, I became attracted to yellow. So those colors we just went over, the heart chakra. You were probably feeling as a child, you're just in love with life. You're innocent. You know, we needed, or maybe you're going through a difficult childhood. Green was your heart chakra, trying to heal that broken heart. I don't know your circumstances, but it can mean different things. But yellow is definitely confidence, happiness, joy. Maybe you're needing more happiness in your life or more joy in your life. You can create that. Go take a road trip or go on a vacation. We don't take enough vacations, people here in America. We don't. We're taught to work. And I've been learning some things in the last few months that have really changed my mind on how I see life. And I'll be sharing that information eventually when I'm done going through the processes myself. But starlit skies, I've been seeing so much orange. Thank you. Good. That is your being creative. Start doing things that, you know, Like yesterday, I did a live yesterday and we created some love potions. I have it right here actually. To mend a broken heart. This is pink. Pink represents unconditional love, just like the heart. So yeah, be creative, make some stuff, do some painting, or maybe you need to work on your relationships. But sending you love, yeah, work on your creativity. Let's see. Just as in life, we transition as we go through life. Absolutely, we do transition. My favorite colors have changed over time as well. But my 3 top colors, I love the color red, I love the color blue. And as you can see, I have a lot of blue in my office because I do a lot of talking. I'm a counselor, so I need to be able to speak my truth in order to help others walk in their truth. Help them see the truth too in what they're going through. So if you find yourself stuttering or a loss for words, blue is your color. And I love green too. I wear a lot of green. So yeah, I love that. Me too. I'm a lover of blue, mostly like navy blue, but for some reason my office has this like country blue feel to it. Red, orange, and yellow are my favorites. Awesome. It's the lower chakras. Yep, grounding, creativity, and confidence. Good. Oh, white. White, if you think about it, it's innocence, purity. Look at my cheat sheet. There's more information than I can share about it. White, divinity, intuition, clairsentience. Actually, I just skipped down. Angelic truth, cleanliness, virginity. Yeah, the colors. Here's some signs. So I'm cheating here. I've actually picked up the psychic ability for beginners. I haven't really needed to use this over the years. I just had it just in case I needed to reflect on it, and maybe I just had it for tonight. Who knows? But here are some object meanings that I didn't go over earlier. But if you're around a lot of greenery, this is nurturing and healing, and it symbolizes growth. So as far as Mariah's house, there's a lot of growth going on. She's young children, and this is helping your children grow. So such a good mama. Flowers or fruit, if you see a lot of that in your life experience, that also symbolizes growth, spirituality, and happiness. A cup or a bowl. There's a mission or a challenge, position in life, the Holy Grail, your emotions. Let's see, structure. Like you see a lot of different structures that you don't normally see. Maybe you live out in the country and you go into the city and you see all these amazing buildings that you haven't seen before. Structure just represents the physical body, protection, stability. So angels, you see angels in the clouds. Those, sometimes when you watch the clouds and you see those angel wings, or maybe even see the whole angel, means divinity, help, trust, faith, and guidance. Or when you see a lot of people that you normally don't see, presence, profession, another person who influences situations. So, and know that when you go into a room or something, your own energy can influence the whole room itself. Maybe you've walked into a room before that it's empty, but you get that feeling like something weird just happened here. I don't know what it was, but it doesn't feel very good to me. Maybe someone right before you got there had an argument and they stormed out of the room, and this is what you're feeling after that. So yeah, this is your go back to the clairs, the feelings, clairsentient, sometimes claircognizant. You just know that something weird happened in the room before you got there. Or your gut feeling, the clairgustance. So yeah, using your clairs. And a good way to figure out what ability is your strongest is how you speak. How do you describe things? Do you say, oh, do you say the word think a lot? Or do you say the word no? Or I like to describe things because I'm a texture person. I love touching everything. So the touching is the clairtangency. I guess that's how you say it. But I like to touch things and feel how it makes me feel. Lori says, I'm very sensitive to energies in the room. That's actually a superpower. Knowing how to determine, though, if it's yours that you're feeling or someone else's, that's where the intuition is. Ooh, cat dog is in the house. Thank you for all the love and the likes. That's my husband supporting me. Thank you. Appreciate him. All right, so numbers, colors, different symbols. Yeah, your emotions also play a big role in what's going on around you. I actually did a video on this not too long ago in my TikTok videos. Let's see if I can find my notes from that. Finding a lot of recipes for stuff. 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 I couldn't find the notes, but I do have that video in my TikTok lineup, and it's not too far from the top, so you can just start scrolling through. So don't forget to follow me and check my content out. I like to share encouraging words and words of wisdom, things that I've learned that have helped me over the years. Let's see. Let me go back into, thanks for the hearts. I don't know how to do that on my fingers without looking in the mirror, but I'm gonna go through the comments and see what's been said. Yeah, well, when I was talking about determining if the energy that you're feeling is yours or someone else's, Love Light Peace for You says, yes, that can be tricky. I'm empathic and can definitely relate to feeling energies. Good. Any pointers on knowing and learning what is my energy and someone else's? I'm glad you asked. I was just talking about that. So if it's a feeling that just comes on randomly, more than likely it's not yours. And then I'll give you an example. I was at a basketball game this weekend, and I was standing next to a gentleman that I didn't know, and all of a sudden I just started feeling this deep sorrow, and I knew I had nothing to be sad about. And so I started scanning the room, and I noticed the guy next to me just had this look of despair. And I could really feel that, so I knew it wasn't mine. But a good way to also protect yourself is to, before you start your day, just envision yourself protected in a bubble of light. This is something that I learned early on to protect my own energy so that other people's energy wouldn't influence mine. And then I just, if I do get into an area where just there's heavy energy, I excuse myself from that room and I'll just start wiping it off. Literally, I'll just start doing this, get it off, just wipe it down all the way down your body. Or if you have some sage or Palo Santo nearby, smudging yourself with that, just letting that smoke clear out that negativity or that heaviness. So typically when it's not yours, it's something that just comes on suddenly, and it doesn't really reflect how you were feeling moments before that happened. So that's a good indication of that it's not your energy. Let's see. I need to practice that more. Yes, but I've gotten much better in distinguishing the difference, but it's why I don't like crowds. You know what? Yeah, I getcha. As you go through your spiritual awakening, being around a lot of people is heavy, and it is hard. And we do have to, as empaths, we do have to unwind. We do have to clear out the energies that we were around that particular day. So yeah, I don't like being around a huge crowd either, especially what type of crowd too. And there are certain stores that I go in, it just, the moment I walk in the door, I feel so gross and heavy. People are driving all the carts, the motorized carts around, and I just think of the movie WALL-E and how sad that existence is, and it's hard to be around that all the time. I hate shopping. My husband is the shopper in the family. I mean, I'll go with him occasionally, but I really dislike shopping just because people. But I love people. I just love them when I'm prepared. So as empaths, we need to unwind and clear out that energy, and so we can handle crowds again. So we can be around a lot of people for a short time, but we also need to get rid of that. Crowds make me feel very heavy. Yeah, and draining for sure. I could be talking to someone, and then all of a sudden you need the feel to tell them certain things, then do it. That is your intuition. Certain things in the moment. Yes. I hear you. I'll share an experience that I had not too long ago. I took one of the large singing bowl that I have. It stands to about my knees. That's how tall it is. And it's huge, and it's the heart chakra bowl. I took it out to the middle of a park where there's not a lot of people there, and I was out there playing with one of my friends, and this homeless guy comes up to us and just sits there and listens. And I had this overwhelming feeling when I looked at him. I said, "When is the last time you had your liver checked?" And he just goes white. He's like, "How did you know?" I'm like, "I could feel it." And he goes, "No, how'd you know though?" I'm like, "I could feel it. I could feel it in my body, and it's not my body. It's not from me. So it has to be you." I said, "So if you haven't had it checked out, go check it out." So when you get those feelings of needing to say something to someone, do it. It doesn't matter if they accept it or not. Ask permission first. I didn't have the opportunity to ask permission. It just came out. And sometimes that'll happen. Like in a conversation that I had the other day with somebody, I just randomly said, "Hey, let me tell you about my psychedelic trip I had, such and such." And the words that I said, my friend was like, "Oh my gosh, I needed to hear that. You're talking directly to me. That was a message for me. How'd you know what I needed to hear?" is what was said. So yeah, don't be afraid to share something that might be something that they really need to hear in that moment. So the more you do it, the better you'll get at it, and you will change people's lives. So that's what we're here for, is to help each other grow and expand in our awareness. Okay, she says, "Hi everyone, talking about crowds." Mariah says, "It takes me 7 business days to recoup." I hear you there. Love, Light, Peace for You says, I've spoken out, and I've gotten people who looked at me pretty shockingly. Good. And then you're doing what you need to do, because that Megan voice inside me doesn't let up until I do, right? Yeah, it didn't shut up for me either. I was like, in that gut feeling, that pull, you're like, "Oh, I don't want to go. But you just have to go, and you have to say something. Mariah says, "Yep, I freak people out when I say things like that." It's not going to be so uncommon. As the earth shifts, you'll start seeing more and more people wake up and be more open to those messages. Maybe you're just validating someone's experience that they had earlier that day, and you'll be like, "Oh my gosh, you have no idea how much I needed to hear that." Yes, I did, because I followed my intuition and I said it. So, Love, Light, Peace for You says, "I want to tell it to stop, but yeah, no, LOL." Yeah. The more you practice, the better you'll get. And like I said, meditation was the biggest thing that helped me tap more into my intuitive gifts. We all have them. We all do. I noticed mine at the age of 17, but I started practicing at that age, and I freaked my mom out. And she's like, "Oh, you better stop doing that," because I was doing an exercise for astral travel. Okay, so it talked about meditation, and so I would meditate, and then it had me visualize going around my home in my mind. So I'd go from room to room to room, and so I started out with my sister's room, which was next to mine, and I floated in there in my mind, and I seen her drawing on an easel. She was drawing this this house and trees, and I think it was a car or something next to it. And then I left the room, and there was nobody in any other rooms. Then I went down to the kitchen, and I started smelling something sweet cooking. I couldn't decipher what it was, but in the astral travel, I actually smelt stuff. Let's talk about which sentient that is, or which clair that is. The smelling is the clairalience and clarifaction. I don't even know how to say that. So when you start smelling stuff. So I started smelling something sweet, like she was baking something. And then my brothers were in the hallway fighting, and that kind of brought me out of that meditative state. And so I'm like, I'm gonna go check this out, see if what I saw was really happening. And as I was walking into my sister's room, she was drawing the house exactly how I saw it. She was just drawing it at that moment. The picture wasn't completed, but I walked in there probably ahead of time, in the future. But I'd seen the picture all drawn, and she was just drawing the house exactly how I'd seen it while I was traveling through the house. And then I went down to the kitchen and see what my mom was doing. I'm like, "Were you cooking something? You're baking something?" And she goes, "I was about to bake an apple pie." I was like, "Oh!" And so I started helping I think it was my brother one time. I was sitting next to him, and I just started blurting out some words. I'm like, "Do you know what those words mean?" He goes, "Yeah, those are on my spelling test this week." And I was like, "Okay." But the more you practice, the better you get. But because of what my mom said to me when I told her what I had done, she's like, "Oh, don't be doing that stuff. That's bad." You know, we're a religious family, so it wasn't a really good idea. So I had to shut that off. And then it was maybe 10 years ago when something extremely traumatic happened to me that really woke me and shook me to my core. I had escaped a domestic violent relationship, lived in my car with my kids, and basically hit rock bottom. I lost my job, I lost everything. But I gained so much more from that experience. I do not regret being homeless with my kids, because it was from rock bottom that I was able to see the top from a different perspective. And it made me to who I am today. I promised myself I would never allow my children to see me have to go through this again. So I put myself through school. And that is how Dr. Ebeling became. That happened kind of right after I published my first children's book. And that's I think I have a link for my children's book in my bio. You can get it on Amazon or Barnes & Noble. Kind of a gross book for kids about stuff kids like at that age, about third or fifth grade. You know, the farts and burps and yeah. It was a disgusting book, and the kids loved it because I would take it around schools and read it during lunch hour. It was great. Let me look at the chat here. Love, light, peace to you. Yes. Wow, amazing. I love that. I've had that happen a few times accidentally. Yeah, sometimes it does happen accidentally, and you're like, whoa. Exactly. You're so awesome. Thank you, Mariah. And that's what the universe wanted you to learn. And look, you blossom. Absolutely. Absolutely. I needed to go through that in order to become who I am today. Lori says, yeah, I was told I was weird, so I turned it off. I'm now on my journey back to weird. I love weird. Keep being weird, Lori. And you're amazing. And Blair Witch Project is my daughter. I'm so proud of you, Mama. Us living in the car is how I found what I wanted to go to college to do. sorry. Yep. So my daughter's going to school to environmental sciences, and she wants to work in nature, forest ranger, or working with nature, because we spend a lot of time in nature. We were out making adventures out of those homeless days. We turned everything into an adventure, and they had to go through it with me. So not only did I make the best of it, but so are they. It's made us all wonderful into who we are and to our greatest version. Oh man, I get choked up over that story. Andy, why'd you do that to me? I love my kiddos, and I'm so proud of them. We learned a lot from being homeless, and it wasn't a bad thing. Okay, so there you have it. Though the intuitive signs, there are more. Like I said, anytime something sticks out at you that you're not used to seeing, take it as a sign. They're around you all the time. If you choose to be in the present moment and look for them, you will find them. Have your phone handy, look it up. What's the spiritual meaning of a duck crossing the road in front of me? And it'll pop something up, and it'll be right in alignment with what you need to hear every time. So don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of looking stuff up. In a world surrounded by technology, ignorance is a choice. That sounds so harsh, but it's kind of true. Thank you for sharing with us all. Thanks, Lori, for being a part of this. And I also want to thank Mariah. She's the one that asked me to speak on this today. So if you have something that you want to know or learn from me, let me know. And I'm going to be doing this Sundays again, same time every Sunday, 7 p.m. Mountain Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, 8 p.m. Central Time, and 6 p.m. Pacific Time. So whatever time zone you're in, you know when to tune in. It'll be the same time every Sunday. Oh, thank you for the hearts, Mariah. Thank you. The hand hearts. Let's see. You're already getting choked up. Love when I started to speak your truth. Love when you speak your truth and your heart just overflowed. Yeah. My kids get me. Dreams would be awesome to talk about. Okay. I will brush up on my dream interpretation stuff. It's not something that you are making me learn some new stuff. Thank you for that. So I'll bring that to the table. Maybe we'll talk about dream interpretation and dreams next week. So I have some studying to do, and I will love to share it with all of you. So tune in again next Sunday, and we'll have another enlightening conversation. Appreciate all of you, and I wish you the best week ever. Stay warm, stay dry, and stay in love. Stay in love. Thank you, guys. Appreciate all of you for being a part of this with me and part of my journey tonight. You matter. You're very important to me. So get out and be amazing, because you are. Just remember,